Hey, it's Angela from the blog AngelaMarieMade.com. Today I'm going to show you how Brendan and I made our DIY wood advent calendar. For Christmas this year, I really wanted to make a pretty and classic advent calendar that will last for many years to come, and that's what inspired my design and materials for this build. Start by gathering all of your materials. You can get a full cut list, material list, and tutorial on my blog, which is linked below this video. We used 1x2s and 1x4s for this build, and then for the backing we used 1/2 inch thick plywood. For the 1x2s and the 1x4s, I chose to use cedar wood because I love the cozy and rustic look that it provides. But you can use any kind of wood. For the numbers, I used Christmas tree shaped ornaments that were made out of clay. I found them on Etsy and I think they're super cute. I'll link the exact ones that I used below this video. But you can really use any kind of thing that you want for the numbers, like stickers or stamps or whatever works. This project is part of my 10-day DIY challenge going on right now. Okay, let's get started with this DIY advent calendar. Step 1 is to make the initial lumber cuts for the advent calendar. Cut the 2-foot by 4-foot plywood sheet to 3 foot long. We had our plywood cut at the home improvement store, but you can also use a table saw or circular saw and straight edge guide. Then use a miter saw and make the initial lumber cuts for the 1x2s. Again, you can get a full cut list on my blog, which is linked below this video. For 2 of the 3-foot square dowels, cut them to 25.5 inches long. Step 2 is to attach the 1x2s together to form the frames of the advent calendar cubbies. Begin by measuring and marking 3.5 inches in from the edge of one of the longer 1x2s, which will be used for the bottom of one of the cubby shelves. Then place another 1x2 at this mark and mark on the opposite side of it. Continue this process until you have 4 board spots marked that are spaced 3.5 inches apart from each other. Use wood glue on the bottom of 4 of the shorter 1x2 boards and set them in place at the marked spots to form the cubby dividers. Then place a scrap board on top of them and clamp everything together to hold these boards in place for nailing. Attach the 1x2 board dividers to the bottom board with 1¼ inch brad nails. Next, add a 1x2 on each end of the frame to form the cubby shelf ends. Repeat this process for the other 4 cubby shelves. Note, for the initial marking step for the rest of these 4 shelves, we just turned our first shelf upside down and used it to easily make the marks. Step 3 is to cut the 1x4s to size for the cubby shelf fronts. Measure each of the 5 cubby shelves and cut a 1x4 to size for each of them to create the cubby shelf fronts. Test each one and make sure it's a perfect fit. Now your DIY advent calendar boards are all ready for painting, staining, and assembly. At this point, it's easier to paint and stain the boards before assembling. Prime the plywood board with a paint roller. After the primer dries, add 2 coats of paint. We used White Dove by Benjamin Moore in Eggshell. Next, stain the 1x2s and 1x4s. We started with a pre-stained wood conditioner and then used 1 coat of Minwax English Chestnut for our stain. We only stain the areas of the boards that are going to show once the advent calendar is fully assembled. Once all the boards are dry, it's time to assemble the advent calendar. Trim out the plywood board with the square dowels. Use the two full 3-foot boards on the sides and the two 25.5-inch boards on the top and bottom. We added caulk where needed and filled all of the nail holes with spackle. Attach the first shelf 1¼ inches down from the top of the plywood. Use wood glue and 1 3/4 inch self-tapping screws to attach the 1x2 shelves in place. Then attach the rest of the shelves 4 inches apart from each other, and then 1 1/4 inch spacing will remain under the last shelf. There is about a 1-inch overhang on each side of each cubby shelf. Make sure that the screws are countersunk beneath the surface of the 1x2 a little bit. Next, attach the 1x4 cubby shelf fronts with wood glue and 1 1/4 inch brad nails. Now your DIY advent calendar build is complete and it's time to add the numbers. For our numbers, I ordered clay ornaments stamped with numbers off of Etsy, but they ended up getting lost in the mail. So last minute we decided to make them. Brandon made them using polymer clay with a tree-shaped cookie cutter and a number stamp. And my awesome assistant painted the numbers with gold paint. I'll link the supplies we used below. We attached them in place for each cubby on the 1x4s with gold nails. I love how our DIY advent calendar turned out, and I've been having so much fun shopping for little presents to fill it up with. If you have any questions about this build, please let me know in the comments below this video, or come and ask over in our Facebook group at angelamariemade.com/woodworkingforthehome. Also, if you build this advent calendar, please share it with us on social media at AngelaMarieMade. You can get an extra entry in our DIY challenge giveaway for making this project. Enter the giveaway at angelamariemade.com/DIY challenge. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe to my channel for more fun DIY projects.